So here are the top 3 films coming out in the next 2 months. Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey is coming out in July 2026 and is going to be epic. Following the unprecedented success of Oppenheimer, Nolan's pivot to Homer's epic poem is widely regarded as the most ambitious undertaking to date, with a production budget estimated at $250 million, which is insane. At the core of the film is the commitment to analog filmmaking. The Odyssey holds the distinction of being the first blockbuster motion picture shot entirely using IMAX 70mm film cameras. So all the kids complaining about the blacks not being black enough can stop complaining.
These look like movies anymore. Why do they look like sludge?
And the trailer looks epic. Check out these shadows. Hoyt Van Hoyten isn't messing about. The film features Matt Damon in the main role as Odysseus, marking another high-profile collaboration between the actor and the director. And Anne Hathaway is back too and looking incredible. Narrative is structured to ground the mythological scope in human stakes, tracing Odysseus's arduous decade-long struggle to reunite with his wife Penelope and his son Telemachus. The ensemble cast, which includes Tom Holland, Zendaya, Robert Pattinson and Charlize Theron, underscoring the project's gravity within the current theatrical landscape. Nolan has indicated a departure from previous cinematic adaptations, opting for a realistic interpretation of the myth that draws inspiration from the modern classicist translations and the historical special effect techniques of Ray Harryhausen, an absolute legend that I had the pleasure of meeting a few decades ago. He employed real giants for the film scenes, which look incredible, and does his best to avoid CGI wherever possible. Nolan continues to position his work as the quintessential big screen event. The second is Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day, coming out in June 2026 and marking the highly anticipated return for the director to science fiction. The film acts as a thematic successor to Spielberg's foundational work on extraterrestrial phenomena, evoking the tone of Close Encounters of the Third Kind and E.T., while applying a modern, thriller-orientated lens to the concept of global disclosure. The film's screenplay, written by frequent Spielberg collaborator David Koepp, moves away from the pure wonderment of his earlier decades, opting instead for a tension-filled examination of information control. By weaving a story about cybersecurity experts, disillusioned corporate insiders, and ordinary citizens thrust into an extraordinary reality, the film positions itself at the intersection of contemporary anxieties regarding truth, technology, and government conspiracy. The film's 145 minutes long and IMAX optimized, and therefore a must-see in the cinema. They're coming! They're coming! The third film is Supergirl and comes out in June 2026 and marks an expansion of the DC universe. As the second feature film in the studio's revitalized Gods and Monsters chapter, the project represents a strategic pivot towards high-concept, genre-defying superhero storytelling. This version of Supergirl is rooted in the punk rock ethos. Unlike her cousin, Clark Kent, this Kara has defined by trauma of witnessing her homeworld, Krypton, drift into oblivion, resulting in a character study that leans into cosmic horror and high fantasy aesthetics. So go check them out in the cinema.